I just want to go on record that we just carried this piece of furniture down. How many flights of stairs? 4 flights. So I'm sweaty and it's raining / snowing. It's snaining. A couple weeks ago, I asked all my followers on both Facebook and Instagram what they wanted to see me do, and I posted a couple pictures, and overwhelmingly, everybody chose the picture of the door. So here's my interpretation of it, and let's get started. After bringing my project home on the Metro, the first thing that I did was took all of the hardware off and set that aside because we're going to do something fun with it. Then I gave it a really good thorough cleaning, both inside and out. There were a lot of little nicks, dings, and divots, especially along the edges, so I went ahead and sanded those with some 220 grit sandpaper, and since I had my sandpaper out, I went ahead and gave the rest of the piece a light sanding. Was missing that little decorative piece that was screwed on top, so I decided to go ahead and modify all of the hardware. I did this by using a cake mold, of all things, and some air dry clay just to make that little piece of trim, and I went ahead and glued that on, and then I painted it. On the inspiration photo, for this step I'm just blocking in some color. It's just a rough placement of where I want some of those colors to go. So this step is not going to look particularly nice or pretty, but I just have to trust the process. After letting that first coat dry, it's now time for the second coat, where I'm again blocking in some more color. This will give me the full coverage that I'm looking for. Don't forget to hit that like button if you're so inclined, and if you have any questions on anything that you've seen in this video or any other video of mine, just leave them in the comments below and I'll be sure to answer those. So as we start blending the colors together, the biggest piece of advice I can give to you is to make sure that you use adequate amounts of water and to let your brush do most of the work. Don't push so hard and just let the brush do what it needs to do. I've used this staining pad before in other videos, and it is one of my favorite tools to blend colors together. As that side is drying, I'm going to move around to the front, and I'm going to show you what I did on the front because it's a little bit different than what I did on the two sides. I'm doing the same color blocking method on the front that I did on the sides. However, the difference is that for the front, I left out the cherry picked. I decided that since the Kissing Booth and the boho blue mixed together to form a purple, the cherry picked was kind of redundant. So the same way we did it on the sides of the dresser, we're going to do that on the front, where I'm using my Paint Pixie brush and a light touch to start blending those colors together. This is the second coat of paint, so I'm going to have full coverage at this point. You'll notice when I'm blending, I kind of go back and forth between using my brush and using my staining pad. I fuss a lot when I blend. Maybe it's because I'm just not that good at it, but it takes me a long time to get what I want. And so I kind of go back and forth between the two. This is my secret tool for getting that very subtle pattern, and it is the decorative roller from Artistic Painting Studio. I'll put a link in the description box below, and you can see all of the patterns that are available. So we're going to take a little time out, and I'm going to interrupt this tutorial because I want to confess that I'm not really happy with the way this is turning out. And that happens often, and that's okay. It's all part of the process, and it's all part of the journey. It was too like rainbow looking for me, and I don't have anything against rainbows, but it's just not what I wanted. It's not what I had in my head, and it just didn't have the sophistication that I was looking for. So we're gonna fix it, and we're gonna fix it right now. I realize at this point I'm kind of straying from that inspiration photo, but you know, inspiration just works in funny ways, and sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. And I really felt like this piece needed to be more yellow, so a little bit of liquid sunshine and some water came to the rescue, and I was able to fix the side and do something that I liked much better. Brought that liquid sunshine around to the front as well, so that I'd have a cohesive design and that it didn't feel like a big choppy mess of color. Also added these little bits of mermaid tail and kissing booth. Number one, to accentuate those cool details, and number two, to keep a continuity of color and bring together the whole cohesiveness of the design aesthetic. I get asked a lot why I paint with the drawers in, and the reason that I do that is because I'm trying to create a nice cohesive design on the whole front, and when I do that with the drawers in, it's like I'm painting on a canvas. But rest assured, I do go back and clean up my drawers. And for this project, I decided to use this beautiful paper napkin to decoupage the sides of the drawers. No project of mine would be complete without just a little bit of distressing, so I did a little bit of a wet distress before using clear wax to seal up my paint. It is perfectly normal for that clear wax to make your project look like a complete hot mess. Do not freak out, and don't judge your project just yet. You'll need to wait until that clear wax is all dry until you can see how beautiful your paint colors come together. I absolutely love using colored waxes to create depth and dimension and complexity to my finish. It really does a beautiful job of just enhancing what you already have. Here's the hardware that we worked on in the beginning. I just gave it a quick buff before putting it back on my piece. And yes, that is the original orientation of that hardware. I cannot take credit for that. I will totally admit that as I was working on this, I had a lot of self-doubt, and I just wasn't sure if I was going to be able to pull this off. I think at the end of the project that I did pull it off, and the one thing that I learned is to just trust myself and to trust the process and to trust my products, and it's just paint, so if I don't like it, I can always paint over it. Don't forget, if you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments below, and I'll be sure to answer those. forget to hit that like button or subscribe if you're so inclined. And I thank you so very much for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye!